What's up, YouTube? In this video I'm going to demonstrate how I rewind this 5 horsepower motor. This is a Baldor 3-phase 5 horsepower 4-pole. As you can see, it's concentric coils, so I'm going to have to use my small coil machine. Start by taking all the measurements, how far the ends of the windings stick out from the iron and where the iron is centered in the frame. The first thing you need to do is figure out the connection. So I got to cut all these strings and lift the leads and jumpers and see what's going on in here. Okay, I cut all the strings and lifted up all the leads. This motor has no jumpers. It's got one Y right here, as you can see, and all the rest is leads. So I drew it out. Here you go. What we have is 1 and 4, 2 and 5, 3 and 6, 7 and star, 8 and star, 9 and star. Should be a pretty easy connection. Actually, when I put it back, instead of bringing 4, 5, and 6 out as a lead, I'm just going to tie them together in another star, because this customer, I know for sure, is running on 240 volts and they want it to be as simple and straightforward to hook up as they can be. So I'm just going to go ahead and star that up. It's exactly what it shows on the wiring diagram here. On low voltage on a motor like this, 4, 5, and 6 tie together. It's because 10, 11, and 12 are tied together internally. That's what this star is. So I'm going to go ahead and just tie those together on the inside, and instead of bringing 7, 8, and 9 out as leads too, I'm just going to pair them up just like this is. So 7 and 1 will be a lead, 2 and 8 will be a lead, and 3 and 9 will be a lead. Next thing I gotta do is take and cut the windings out around here, just outside of this iron core.
Brush your teeth, bro. I really want my...
And you can use a air hammer to cut these out if you want. That's a really good way to do it. A lot of people got fancy cut-off saws, and that's good too, but for what I'm doing, that little straight grinder works just fine. That's not a normal blade though. That's about a $100 copper cutting blade. So you don't want to go at it with just a regular cutting wheel. What you want to do is take a torch and just real fast. You don't want to burn the wire, so you don't want to stay in one place too long. That's it, just like that. Okay. just want to get it hot. Nice and hot. Helps to soften that some too. Take your needle nose. Oh yeah. And you just start lifting. Separate them. What I'm doing is I'm just making sure that I got all of the wires from each coil together. .035, that's a 19, I believe. Yeah, it's got two 19s in it, two number 19s. There it is, totally stripped. That's all the wire pulled out of it. Like I said, you always want to count multiple groups because sometimes you make a mistake, but sometimes the factory makes a mistake too. And there was one group in there that had 76 turns, and all the rest of them had 66. So that's what I'm going to go with, 66, and all the rest of them were 64 and 62. So that's what we're going to go with. And what I did was I took this and sandblasted it to get all of the leftover slot paper and everything out of the slots. You want to get them really clean. So I sandblasted it and painted it with a red insulator. And now it's time for slot paper. Alright, there's all the paper in. And these are actually square slots, so I could have creased the papers. Could have creased them like this. Something along those lines. A lot of guys do, but on the motor this small, I'm not going to worry about it. All I have to do is make sure that when I put the wire in, when I tamp it down, it doesn't pull the paper away from this edge to where the wire could get against the core, but I'm going to keep an eye on it, so I'm not worried about it. Since this motor was concentric, I got to use these concentric heads, and this little machine kind of sucks. They're really easy to buy. You can cheap, you can get them off eBay, Amazon. The problem is they don't have much power, much cranking power, so for little tiny stuff, they're alright, you know, but even a motor this size, which is pretty small, they just don't have the cranking power to really wind the coil, so you kind of have to help it along some as you go, which sucks, but it'll do the trick, you know. This motor's only got 6 groups of coils, so I don't really care. I'll be done with it in no time. But at the top of my list of things to buy is a set of concentric heads that I can put on my big machine, which is much better. And I'll be moving into a shop soon, so gonna have a lot more room. A lot better setup, access to a lift, that kind of stuff. So anyway, for now, this motor, the little hand winder is all we got. So that's one group of coils in. It's a little tight, but not too shabby. I just got to make sure that I keep it really short on this end, short this way, because it's got an internal fan. I want plenty of clearance between the windings and that fan, so. I got measurements though. I know where it all is. When I tie it down, I'll make sure it's in the right place. Well, I got sucked into what I was doing and forgot all about making this video until I had the very last coil to put in, so here we are. Pretty easy wind. I'm happy with it. I'll, in a minute here, get that last coil in. I'm going to put phase paper between all the coils here, so all the different groups, so that's that. It's gonna look good. Gonna look real good when it's done. Bingo, baby. Bingo. Got all the leads and everything tied up. In the morning, I'm gonna dip it in the varnish and then put it in the oven.